The following is a hockey podcast out of Vancouver and Surrey, British Columbia. It'll only consist of a lot of puck talk and even more BS, or in actual words, banter and satire. Enjoy, and as always, go Canucks go.
There may be a snowstorm, okay? So we have to do this. We have to talk more Canucks, and it's ironic because Ian Macintyre maybe just dropped the article of the year. That dude doing work. He's been doing work for decades and decades. But this season, man, he's one of those MVPs. They call him the triple threat. He dropped an interview. We're going to talk about it because we have to, man. It's that season, man. It's win now mode. You're listening to Locked On Canucks.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to another episode of Locked On Canucks. My name is Kyle Bowen, but more importantly, Trevor Beggs not here with us today. My co-host, always have to call him out in the beginning of the episodes. He's the man with the plan and the reason why this is happening. That being said, he's on daddy duty. Couldn't join me for this impromptu conversation about, again, the article of the year. Patrik Allvin talks a lot. And honestly makes me feel a lot better about the future of the Vancouver Canucks. And he does so with Ian Macintyre. And we're gonna react to it here on Locked On Canucks on the Locked On Podcast Network. Hey, shout out to the Don't Doze Art Lab for doing this, producing this, and giving us that West Coast bias on the daily. Anywho, enough about us. Let's get right into it, okay? I want to start off with this, okay? This is the big one. And I thought I was going to do the whole, let's talk about the unusual comment about Elias Pettersson, but it's about the Canucks, okay? Team first, West Coast bias. Let's talk about the team. And this is something else, okay? Patrik Allvin, he's going over what happened in the summer and all the guys they brought in, right? All the pro guys. The Blugers, the Laffertys, the Ian Coles, the Carson Soucies, the Casey DeSmiths, the Pius Suitors. They just hit home run after home run after home run, right? All those pro guys. Speaking of pros, the guy who's probably the most professional, okay? Based on Alvine and the love this guy's had for him for years and years and years. It's Teddy Bluger. And he singles him out. Pretty much stating, I'm paraphrasing, that he's on another level when it comes to everything about being a hockey player. AKA, he makes it easier for guys in the room to win games. He does all those little things, right? And we've heard the term little things for a while, okay? I've been around a little thing for a while too, okay? But little things are only cool or have any value if you can execute, right? Do all those little things so well. Those little things turn into important things. And Teddy Bluger, man, what a player. Pius Suter, what a player. Suter signed for another year, Teddy Bluger not. And again, the way that Alvin talks about him is something else. And again, he's a UFA. And in this article, I'll put the link to it in the bio below. Again, Ian Macintyre and Patrik Allvin. What a conversation. I don't know if this is, again, the West Coast bias being at an all-time high for me. I don't know if it's just because I'm in love with the Vancouver Canucks again. But again, this article was beautiful, okay? It did the most. The link to it is in the bio below. Where was I? Oh, yeah, Teddy Bluger, UFA. Ian Macintyre did ask Patrik Allvin about that situation, right? They got a bunch of UFAs. Not just Hronek and Pettersson. They got a bunch of UFAs that they'd probably want back next season, right? And they'd love to start negotiating with those guys. But apparently, and this is obvious because the Canucks, they're a pro team now. There's a pecking order, okay? This team is not going to spend money anywhere else until they start spending actual money with Filip Hronek and Elias Pettersson. And that matters. It's easier for the Blugers to just be the Blugers when you have a lot of Hroneks and Petterssons and Bessers and Millers. You know what I'm saying? If you got a lot of superstar talent, these depth players can do all the little things so efficiently and with grace. So again, there's a pecking order, and man, oh man, it's making me think a lot about this Pettersson contract again. And I know some people hate talking about the contract. I thought I would hate it. But indulging in everything Vancouver Canucks, and I'm a little traumatized, man. I'm not healed. This contract, man. Where's that little passage, okay? Based on your experiences, is this situation unusual? A core player eligible for restricted free agency waiting to hold off on negotiations. Okay, Macintyre talking about Pettersson, and Alvine responds with maybe a little, yeah. Damn. That made me think. This being said, earlier in the conversation, okay, Macintyre did ask Alvine if he thinks that Pettersson wants to be a Canuck. And the first thing that Alvine says is, I do believe that he wants to be part of a good team. Which is fair. Because, yeah, the Canucks are good right now, but they were so bad for 90% of the years Pettersson was here. And some can argue or make the argument, which is a little valid, that Pettersson was a part of that, right? If he was not happy with the amount of winning being done prior to this season, then maybe he should have done more, right? He's one of those players. Oh, there's dressing room problems? Yo, fix it. Get it together. But winning in the NHL is really hard. Super hard. It's not a game you can win on your own. Unless you're McDavid, unless you're Gretzky. There's only two of those guys. Bobby Orr in the mix, right? Anyways, winning, man, it matters a lot to Elias Pettersson. And when he responds to the question like that, right, Alvine to Macintyre, that you think Pettersson wants to stick around, I think he wants to be on a good team. It makes me think about the standard. It makes me think about what Pettersson, quote unquote, needs the Canucks to do to make it a slam dunk of a decision to stick around with the Vancouver Canucks for 8 years. Because it's not about just signing in Vancouver, right? And I know we just saw Austin Matthews do that small extension. No, let's keep Pettersson for 8 years. You can be good for a very long time if that guy's on your team for that long, and you best believe it, okay? You know how this works. Pettersson's still very young, going to be elite for 10 plus years, in my opinion. And at the end of this contract extension, this 8-year deal worth, I don't know, $100 million. He's going to be a bargain. And I know I just said $100 million. There's something that's telling me, okay, based on the writing, based on the reports, that money is not a problem here. Okay, we're talking about Alvine, Rutherford, and company, okay? Rick Tocchet played with the best of the best. They know Pettersson is really good. They know he's one of those guys. I don't think money's a problem. That being said, they got to get these things done early if they want to jump ahead and really execute on keeping this thing going for a long time, right? So that it's not just a one-year thing. I'm feeling that while reading this Alvine piece, and signing those two guys, especially Pettersson, just allows conversations to start with the Sam Laffertys, the Blugers, the Dakota Joshuas, heck, the Casey DeSmiths, the Ian Coles. I'm not saying the Canucks are going to be able to bring all those guys back, but the earlier you start negotiating, you can probably bring some of them, some of them back and start putting the puzzle pieces together for next season. Hey, speaking of puzzle pieces, okay, I think I saw something about that in the article as well. I think it was about Tocchet, right? Tocchet loves puzzles. He loves puzzles, man. This guy's a surprising guy. Earlier on an episode, somebody said Rick Tocchet looks like a thug. I think he looks like a chess player, okay? More on that in a couple of seconds. We got to run an ad. And again, you're listening to Locked On Canucks. One love to all the listeners. Go Canucks, go. We blessed. Drive safe. And keep that West Coast bias at an all-time high. Oops. Okay, people. I got to be honest with you, okay? Look at the numbers. Numbers don't lie. And it's not about the numbers, but hey, Locked On Canucks is still growing. And because it's still growing, I can't shell out the tickets or shell out the money for tickets unless I'm using Game Time, okay? It's just the truth. Game Time is the place to go when you're looking for last-minute deals and you're trying to save some money, okay? You shouldn't have to worry when you have to buy tickets to your next big event. Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets to all the sports, music, comedy, and theater events near you. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their best price guarantee, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying tickets, okay? Last-minute tickets, flash deals, zone deals. What are those? Go check out the Game Time app. It does a lot for you. It makes going to the game not only desirable, but simpler. Game Time, man, they working for you. They on your team. It's just the truth. Game Time is the only ticketing app that gives you a complete peace of mind with your purchase. Buy tickets in seconds with 2 taps. Game Time has deals on tickets right up to the start of the event and even an hour after it starts. What? An hour after it starts? Again, last minute deals on Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDON for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDON. That's LOCKEDON for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Okay, we back on Locked On Canucks. My name is Kyle Bowen. Still learning, man. Still learning a lot about what this is on YouTube and what a live stream is, man. A lot of buttons here, and we do appreciate the love that we've been getting over the last couple of weeks. So we made a pretty harsh transition to the way we've been producing the show, and y'all been patient, man. And I think it's a lot easier for you guys to be patient because, again, we're addicted right now. Anything works. Just give us more Canucks talk. It's not that deep. Straight up, this team providing win after win after win after win, or point after point, or just, again, good performance after good performance after good performance, staying really consistent for pretty much the whole year outside of, 28 days where they went 500 exactly. You know what I'm saying? The Canucks have been good for a long time, and we cannot get enough. And I think Alvine is in an interesting spot to ask himself if he wants more from this season. I don't know if it's cemented after reading this piece that it's cup or bust right now, but it was pretty clear that if the Canucks do continue to have large success, right? They're batting 750, they're batting 800. They will flip the switch and they will reward the players. He even said it. He says he owes it to the guys to be even thinking, right? Thinking of adding to the storyline, adding to the team. And maybe right now in this moment, again, this guy's a champion. They've seen it done with Pittsburgh. At this position, maybe he's not 100% on doing the most to get a top 6 player, top 4 D-man, right? But again, if the Canucks prevail with a lot of home games ahead of them, for real, a lot of home games, I think I said it right the second time, expect the unexpected. Expect a surprise. Expect another star to join the Big Six. The Big Six: Philip Hronek, Brock Besser, Thatcher Demko, Quinn Hughes, Elias Pettersson, and JT Miller. I think the boys at Sportsnet did that as well. They talked about that, and I just feel as if it may just be the Big Seven. Another nickname would come up. Something else. Okay, more from this interview, okay? We just talked about Patrik Allvin owing it to the player, okay? He wants to continue to see them play at a high level, and it'll make his mind race even more. And he knows how sports work, okay? Sports are hard, man. These teams working hard. You doing the most? We got you. We're going to add to the mix. I F with that. Because the moment is the moment. Again, plans maybe have changed. This perspective, this connection to the cup was probably unimaginable. But again, look at the records. Look at the Big Six. There's a chance here. Straight up. What else we got? Kuzmenko, man. Kuzmenko. Ian Macintyre obviously asking about Kuzmenko. Is what you do with Kuzmenko the biggest decision prior to the deadline? And Alvine practically saying, it's on the players. The players write the narrative, okay? He also alluded to Rick Tocchet coaching as if he's, in love with puzzles. He views things through that lens. He's a puzzle maker, a puzzle doer. He wants the perfect puzzle. Kuzmenko, 5 healthy scratches this season. I'm pretty sure that that's definitely not one of Rick Tocchet's favorite pieces. Now, I didn't know this because I don't think I've been saying this. I don't think I've been openly so impressed with Andrei Kuzmenko recently, but Alvine in the piece talked about how Kuzmenko's game has done a lot. It's been different over the stretch, right? Throughout the road trip since he's been back in the lineup. And that's, it's not only good for him, but it's probably the truth. Maybe I'm just being a little pessimistic, okay? Expecting the most and not looking at the gradual little things, okay? The little things, man. Remember, the little things matter, okay? Kuzmenko maybe turning the page. Hey, speaking of turning the page, maybe Kuzmenko still gets traded, okay? I was thinking about this, right? We kind of saw it happen with Beauvillier. What if the Canucks want to, I don't know, move efficiently, gain more assets, possibly be able to, I don't know, compile a trade that allows them to bring in some new top 6 talent without giving up Willander or Lekkerimaki? Maybe they trade Kuzmenko for like a 2nd-round pick or something, I don't know, and then use that 2nd-round pick in a compilation for, again, the unexpected. I think the Canucks are still going to do the unexpected. Let's get to the comments, okay? Gmod. Do we trade Pods, man? Pods, a guy that Alvine obviously talked about in this piece as well. Am I doing something illegal by talking about Ian McIntyre's piece on YouTube? Again, the link is in the bio. The guy killed it, okay? Anyways, do we trade Pods? I don't think it's Willander. I don't think it's Lekkerimaki. I think if the Canucks are getting a top 6 player, it is Podkolzin. Because you got to pay a price, okay? And I know some people may be concerned about that. Like, yo, look at his AHL numbers, okay? Before he got hurt and even after he got hurt, he's been better, a better pro. He's making strides. AKA adding to the leverage, adding to the trade value. Again, if the Canucks want to add to their top 6 or top 4, and you don't want Lekkerimaki and Willander getting traded, come on. Podkolzin is in that pool, in that trade, okay? Look at the Atu Ratu thing, right? Is that how you say his name? Those type of guys get put in the trade to, sweeten it, along with the picks. And again, do the Canucks get an extra pick by flipping Kuzmenko somewhere else and then using that asset right away into something else? How about this comment? Trevor Beggs, what I'd miss, man. This guy is, again, you don't even know. Trevor's a hunter too, man. He kills for his family, okay? He goes in the wilderness and he finds a cow and boom, bam. He's got meat for months. Efficient man. Doing the most. One love to Trevor. How about this, okay? Angelo, not giving up Lekkerimaki or Willander. I know. It's not going to happen. I don't think that's an Alvine thing. And Podkolzin is not an Alvine pick. Alvine? Did I say that right? I think so. Anywho, I think I went through all the quotes I wanted to go through. At the end of the day, again, we went all over the place. The Pettersson stuff, unusual, right? It's a little weird, blah, blah, blah. But when, again, the leadership at the top is like this, Alvine, Rutherford, Tocchet, and company, they've pretty much produced a miracle right away in some sense. They're such big components of the turn of the ship, for real, the turn of the train. Is that a term? You get what I'm saying? When it's like that, I can't help but feel confident, okay? Not only in the team, but in someone like Pettersson, he's an assassin, okay? He's a cerebral guy. You don't think he knows about the big 6, okay? You don't think he knows about all these things? He can see that. And if he sees, I think if the Canucks get to round 2 and it's like game 7 and he hears the noise of the crowd and the competitive change in the Canucks culture, if they get to round 2, it's going to be enough to sign this guy long term. If they get to round 3 and win the cup, which is going to happen, it's a guarantee too. Pettersson's not going anywhere. It's weird. This morning, I was with Trevor again, the darkest guy on the program. He changes me sometimes. Okay, I'm not going to front. he's bringing up the whole Pettersson thing. Do the Canucks go all in this year because it's their last year with Pettersson, blah, blah, blah. I was starting to think like that. But the more and more I think about it, that's impossible, man. Pettersson knows. Pettersson knows best, man. If he wants to win, the best place to do it is probably with those guys in the room in this leadership group compared to your other options, okay? I know. Saying a lot for a team that's only played like 40-plus games of good hockey, but I can feel it in the air, okay? And this is a show with the West Coast bias. You think I care about being... No, I don't care about being wrong or making assumptions about the best things. It's for my people. The Canucks, man, doing the most this year, extending Pettersson, winning the Cup. I'm so confident after reading that article. Again, the link to that is in the bio below. I think I'm going to get out of here, man. Go Canucks, go. One love to all the listeners on Locked On. This is it, man. Again, the Don't Doze Art Lab. We produced that West Coast bias. We're in love with it, and this is literally a dream come true for everyone at the studio, and it's also a dream come true for Trevor Beggs, man. This guy, man. My guy, man. For real. Anyways, have a good morning, a good afternoon, a good night. Subscribe and hit the like button. I don't know when you're listening to this or watching this, but we do appreciate it again. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace.
Your Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network,